It's Wednesday, May 31st, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. Back in our studio with the latest local news, including an armed robbery in Shelton, a murder charge for a Stratford man, and a world-famous rock star helping a Ridgefield nonprofit. Frank Granito has your Nutmeg sports update and a look at the forecast, and Donald Lang joins us later to take a look back on this day in history. But first, Shelton police are in search of a suspect who committed an armed robbery at the People's Bank inside of Stop & Shop located at 898 Bridgeport Avenue. On Tuesday, May 30th at about 12:30 p.m., the Shelton police received a holdup alarm from the bank. According to police, moments after the alarm, they received a 911 call from the bank confirming that it had been robbed. Shelton patrol officers and detectives responded and discovered that a white male with a scruffy beard and dirty blonde hair had approached a female teller. According to a statement issued by Detective Richard Bango, the suspect displayed a dark semi-automatic pistol and demanded cash from both tellers on duty. The tellers complied and the male left the bank on foot with an undisclosed amount of money. Upon exiting the store, that male hugged the building, staying out of view of exterior surveillance cameras. Police are asking anyone who recognizes the man or has any information to contact the Shelton Police Department at 203-924-1544. And in other news, a Stratford man is facing a murder charge in connection with a shooting death on Saturday on Garibaldi Avenue. 24-year-old Brandon Ford of Stratford was arrested in connection with the Saturday evening shooting death of Andre Petway of Bridgeport. Ford is charged with murder, possession of a weapon in a motor vehicle, risk of injury to minors, as well as first-degree reckless endangerment, unlawful discharge of a firearm, and carrying a pistol without a permit. Police said Ford was arrested after members of the Stratford Police Department Special Response Team served a warrant at his residence. The arrest stems from the ongoing investigation into the Saturday evening homicide on Garibaldi Avenue. Police offered no further details on Ford's arrest. 27-year-old Petway was identified Monday as the victim of the shooting that took place just before 7 p.m. Saturday. Petway died of his injuries at Bridgeport Hospital, and you can look for updates at stratfordstar.com. And a Stratford man is dead and a Milford woman suffered injuries after the vehicles they were driving in were involved in an accident on Route 15 in Orange on Saturday. State police say that Michael Zawadzki, 44 years old of Judson Place in Stratford, was traveling south in the right lane of Wilbur-Cross Parkway near exit 57 at about 4:15 in the afternoon. Police said Zawadzki was traveling in a GMC Jimmy when Taylor Madison Stanford, 21 of High Street in Milford, traveled in the left lane in a Volkswagen Jetta at a high rate of speed. Police said Stanford's vehicle veered off of the road and ran over a curb in the median. Police said Stanford lost control of her car and struck Zawadzki's vehicle. Police said Zawadzki's car rolled over and he was ejected from the car. The GMC Jimmy traveled off the road and came to a stop in an embankment in the right shoulder. Police said Stanford's vehicle also traveled off the road and collided with a rope guardrail on the right shoulder. Police said Stanford was partially ejected from the Jetta. Police said Zawadzki's body was transported to the State Office of the Chief Medical Examiner in Farmington. Stanford was transported to Yale New Haven Hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. It was unclear if Zawadzki was wearing a seatbelt at the time. State police say that accident remains under investigation. And Connecticut state troopers over the Memorial Day weekend made 31 DUI arrests and investigated 302 accidents, including 48 accidents that had injuries. Tragically, there were 2 fatal accidents on state highways over the holiday weekend, resulting in 3 deaths. One was a double fatality on I-91, and the other was the one we just told you about on Route 15 in Orange. State police also issued 719 speeding tickets and 668 seatbelt violations. And in New Canaan, Bronx resident Alan Wilson, who's 55 years old, was taken into custody as a fugitive from justice and charged with forgery for showing a fraudulent Maryland ID. On Saturday at about 2:45 p.m., Wilson was stopped by police on Gertie's Road near Conrad Road for traveling unreasonably fast. After speaking with occupants of the vehicle and obtaining Wilson's ID, the officer determined that Wilson had presented a fraudulent Maryland ID. A name check determined that Wilson was a fugitive from justice in New Jersey on an extraditable active warrant. Information regarding those charges in New Jersey are not known. Wilson was taken into custody and held without bond, and he was issued a court date of May 30th. And after a car chase and a foot chase, Milford police nabbed a man they believe stole a car from a local dealership and cigarettes from a gas station. Police said that on May 28th, they received a complaint about a motor vehicle and license plate stolen from a car dealership on New Haven Avenue and later arrested 42-year-old David Schoendorf of Leeds Island Road in Bramford. After the report of the stolen car at about 3:50 a.m. on May 29th, Milford police got word of a burglary alarm at a New Haven Avenue gas station. The front door had been forced open there and numerous cartons of cigarettes were taken from the business. Video surveillance provided officers with a good description of the individual and the suspected vehicle, which matched that stolen vehicle, police said. Now at about 4:50 a.m., Milford Police Canine Officer Degnan located the stolen vehicle at an I-95 northbound rest stop gas pumps. The driver fit the description from the New Haven Avenue burglary. Officer Degnan tried to block the vehicle and get the driver to get out of the car, but he drove off onto I-95 northbound. Degnan chased for a while, but stopped due to public safety concerns. However, while doing a check of the I-95 southbound rest stop, police found the suspect again, who began to run from officers inside of that rest stop. After a brief foot chase, he was taken into custody. And a 42-year-old Stamford man was arrested for attempting to steal about $155 worth of meat from Stop & Shop. A store employee spotted James Coates stuffing packaged meat into his vest and pants on May 16th, and police were notified. Police responding to the scene could see that Coates had items bulging from beneath his clothes, and he admitted to taking store property when asked. He told officers he was just trying to feed himself, and he removed 10 packages in total from his clothing. He was charged with larceny and released on a promise to appear in court on May 26th. All right, let's switch gears. Throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast, which isn't that promising, Frank. Hasn't been for quite a while.
No, Kate, it's not, and it's not getting much better. It's going to be a little warmer out today, but that is not due to an increase in sunshine. We are looking at cloudy skies again and some stray showers to go with it. There is an expected high of 71 for this afternoon and a chance for the sun to maybe peek through, but that will be short-lived as we could see passing thunderstorms later this evening and then an otherwise partly cloudy night, a little cooler as well with a low of 52. Nicer out tomorrow as we'll have some sunshine around Fairfield County, a high in the mid-70s and breezy out with gusts of wind between 15 to 20 miles per hour. We can expect mostly sunny skies for the afternoon and into tomorrow night, where the thermostats are going to fall down to 57 as there are mostly clear skies heading into Friday morning, and Friday kicks off the weekend with intervals of sun and clouds during the day. We shouldn't see any showers during the afternoon as temperatures are back into the low to mid-70s. Wind gusts remaining around 15 miles per hour, but there is increasing cloud cover heading our way Friday evening, passing showers overnight that are most likely going to carry in to Saturday morning. That's going to do it for the weather. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, we're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Frank has the winners of last week's Athlete of the Week poll. We also take a look back on this day in history with Donald Ang, and there's more local news after this.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Sign-ups are now open for one of our most popular programs, the New England 80 Elite Lacrosse Division I and Division III Showcases. With D1 and D3 coaches in attendance, players will receive a 60-minute webinar with Director of Recruiting Hans Hansen, a custom NE80 penny, custom shorts, and a video of all games. Last year's event sold out quickly, so sign up now for the next showcase coming in January 2018. Like and follow us on Facebook.
When it comes to considering the outside of your home, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning free-form pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the team of professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, as well as landscape and garden maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Pizza to satisfy even the most demanding critics. Tuesday Pazza Pizza.
Welcome back to this May 31st edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. It's time to throw it over to Don Lang to take a look back on this date in history. Don.
Well, Kate, one of the most exciting video graphics that we'll ever use on Coffee Break's history segment coming up in a second. First, though, we go to 1866. John O'Neill leads 850 Irish-American raiders across the Niagara River into Canada in what would become known as the Fenian Invasion. Now, the plan was to conquer Canada, then trade it back to England in exchange for the English leaving Ireland. That painting, by the way, is amazingly historically inaccurate. It's a depiction of the Battle of Ridgeway. It's considered the battle that made Canada a nation. Canada would officially become independent the following year. Needless to say, it was never an Irish colony. 1879, Gilmore Garden in New York City is renamed Madison Square Garden by William Henry Vanderbilt, and it is open to the public at 26th and Madison. The original garden would stay on the site of P.T. Barnum's Hippodrome and would remain there open for just 11 years. The current garden, by the way, built in '68, is the fourth building to bear the name Madison Square Garden. It's not round, it's not on Madison, and there was never a park or garden at the site of the current Madison Square Garden. 1916. The Battle of Jutland. The British Grand Fleet engages the German Imperial Navy in the largest naval battle of the war, and the last battle fought primarily between battleships. The Germans had been blockaded in port for 2 years and the attempt to break out led to a day-long running battle between 99 German and 151 British ships. The battle was inconclusive but had a huge impact on the war's outcome because with no hope of freeing its fleet, the Germans would turn to unrestricted submarine warfare, which ultimately brought the U.S. into the war. Finally, now we go to 1977, 40 years ago today.
Before the first drops of oil entered the Alaska pipeline today on the trip south, one official commented, "It's about as exciting as turning on a garden hose." It wasn't much to look at, and the oil is flowing the 800-mile route more slowly than a person can walk. But the pipeline is open. 8 years and about $8 billion after the idea was born. Roger
might have stretched the truth a little bit. There's about 90 more seconds of this news report, but as Bab said, watching oil flow through a pipe is really not that interesting. Anyway, on this day 40 years ago, the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System, or as Alaskans call it, the pipeline, is completed. The first barrel of oil flows through the pipe, at least part of the 800-mile length of it. Oil doesn't flow very fast. The pipeline was built in response to the dramatic rise in oil prices due to the OPEC embargo in the 70s, which made Alaska oil drilling profitable. It currently carries 2.1 million gallons of crude each day. That is your look back in history for today, May 31st, and I'm Donald Ng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, First Selectman Jamie Stevenson told the Darien Times Tuesday morning that she will run for re-election in November. Should she win, it will be her fourth term as the town leader and her fifth on the board, having served as a selectman for the first 2 years. According to an email she sent to the Republican Town Committee Chairman Brent Hayes over the weekend, Stevenson also indicated her fellow Republican selectmen Susan Marks and Kip Coons would also again be running. Now, Democrats have not had a first selectman candidate challenged Stevens in either 2015 or 2013. In 2013, former Darien Democrat Town Committee Chairman Randy Klein served as a placeholder during the nomination caucus for an expected first selectman candidate who did not materialize. Now, current DTC Chairman David Bain recently told the Darien Times that decisions for November have not yet been made. Well, let's throw it back over to Frank Granito now for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And let's start with our Week 6 Athlete of the Week winners here in the spring season. First up is Hannah Errico of St. Joseph Softball. Errico had 2 hits, drove in 2 runs, and was in on 7 outs from her second base position as the Cadets shut out Trumbull 11-0 in the FCI quarterfinals. Errico also had 2 hits, including the 100th of her career earlier in the week in a 7-6 win over the Staples Wreckers. For the male athletes, it was Tony Sosai of Trumbull Baseball who drove in all 3 runs for number 8 Trumbull in their 3-2 quarterfinal win over the top-seeded West Hill Vikings. Sosai hit a 2-run homer in the second, added an RBI double in the fourth. He also had an RBI triple earlier in the week versus Danbury. So congratulations to both Tony and Hannah. A special congratulations as well to Ben Kasparius, who became the first Staples baseball player to be named the Gatorade Player of the Year. Kasparius this season batted .449, hitting 7 home runs, had 26 RBIs, went 3-2 as a starting pitcher with a 2.52 ERA, 57 strikeouts over 33 and a third innings pitched. He had a no-hitter that included 13 strikeouts for Stanford earlier this season. Kasparius is a 2-time All-State player, a Rawlings/Perfect Game third-team All-American, and a USA Today's All-USA Connecticut team. So congratulations to Ben, and all those numbers still improving as the Wreckers continue on through the postseason. One team, unfortunately, that's not continuing on this postseason will be the Darien girls tennis team. Coming off a second consecutive FCX championship in girls tennis, the Blue Wave has been disqualified after their first-round victory for the use of an ineligible player per CIAC rules. The Southington Blue Knights, who fell to Darien, will advance on in their position. We'll have much more on that and all these other stories, as well as a recap of the first rounds in the state tournament coming up at 2 o'clock for you on Nutmeg Sports. And we've got state lacrosse for you this afternoon. Number 8 Greenwich hosting number 9 Staples in the boys Class L tournament. That is at 4:30 from Cardinal Stadium, right here on the HAN Network. That will do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, in some news that just came through from the Darien Times, a large amount of raw sewage was illegally disposed of at St. John's Cemetery, leading authorities to contact the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. A patron of the cemetery informed the manager of a strong odor coming near a mausoleum. The manager then discovered that raw sewage had been dumped along a riverbank behind that mausoleum. Officers found what appeared to be truck tire marks near the spill, suggesting that a septic truck had parked near the river and used a hose to dump that waste. Now, Norotan Heights Fire Department responded to the scene and placed a hazmat boom by the riverbank to contain the waste from further polluting the water. Fire Department personnel then contacted the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection to notify them of the spillage. Anyone with potential information on that incident is strongly encouraged to contact the Darien Police at 203-662-5300. And in other news, a first-class relic of St. Anthony of Padua is on its way to Trumbull. In the Catholic Church, first-class relics are physical remains of saints. Now, the relic will be at St. Teresa Church on June 9th, and Masses will be at noon and 5:30 p.m. Veneration of the relic will also be in the afternoon between those Masses. Now, Friar Alessandro Ratti will travel from the Basilica of St. Anthony of Padua in Italy to the tri-state area in honor of St. Anthony's feast day on June 13th. The relic consists of layers of skin of Anthony's cheek. Now, Anthony died back on June 13th, 1231, and was buried in a little church outside the walls of the town of Padua. In 1263, his remains were transferred to the newly constructed basilica. St. Anthony of Padua is known to millions of Catholics as the patron saint of lost items. And will start times at Ridgefield High School be later in 2018 and 2019? Well, the Board of Education will have an answer by the end of October 2017. That was the decision made at Monday night's board meeting, which marked the conclusion of a year-long discussion that featured several petitions, hours of public debate, and a handful of focus groups this spring. And now the community will have to wait until fall when the board sends out surveys to further gauge how parents, students, and administrators feel about possibly making that change. You can get a lot more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. And in other Ridgefield news, Rolling Stone guitarist Keith Richards and his wife Patty Hansen will be leaving a mark on Ridgefield in a big way. The Weston residents announced this past weekend that they will be auctioning off antiques from their apartment in New York City's Upper East Side, with proceeds from the sale going to benefit a pair of local nonprofits, Sphere and the Prospector Theater, for the work they do with adults who have autism. Now, the Daily Mail first reported the news that Richards and Hansen will be donating all the auction's proceeds to the Ridgefield charities. Hudson-based auctioneer Stair Galleries will handle the special event, which is Saturday, June 24th. Items for sale include furniture from Italy, France, and England, as well as paintings and other decorations from the Manhattan apartment. According to Stair Galleries, Hansen designed the home to be a European jewel box. Hansen's 24-year-old nephew has autism and has received services from both Sphere and the Prospector Theater. Sphere helps adults with developmental disabilities achieve their dreams, and the nonprofit's programs improve quality of life by providing rich experiences and a strong community. Now, a link to the auction items is at theridgefieldpress.com. Very cool story there. Well, we are going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today on your coffee break after this.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Drive and Discover event. Now through May 31st.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday, now at 3 locations: 131 Kings Highway North in Westport, the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Wild Birds Unlimited.
At Wild Birds Unlimited of Brookfield, get expert advice from our certified bird feeding specialists. We offer always fresh, clean seed that will be sure to attract birds to your home feeder. Experience our excellent customer service. Open 7 days a week. Visit us at 317 Federal Road, Brookfield.
Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
At Worcester School, we believe summer is a time for kids to be kids. We provide the safe and nurturing environment for them to find activities that match their interests and allow them to create lasting friendships. Summer at Worcester offers 7 weekly sessions at our Danbury campus from Monday, June 26th through Friday, August 11th for pre-K to grade 8. Find out more about our extended hours, new optional lunch program, and a new low price at summer@worcester.org or 203-830-3921. Summer at Worcester, experience the difference. Family and Children's Aid has been serving the community since 1809 and is now the largest outpatient children's mental health care provider in Western Connecticut. Our innovative services include providing shelter to homeless moms and children, substance abuse intervention, mental health counseling, and foster and adoptive services, among others. Our goal is to provide individuals and families a safe haven and hope for a brighter future. Find out more about us at fcaweb.org and call our Danbury campus at 203-748-5689. A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best, not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com. At the Tile Shop at Doro Granite and Marble, you dream it and we create it. Located at 5 Danbury Road in Ridgefield, we offer the finest quality of porcelain, natural stone tile, artisan tile, and much more. Find out more at tiletiletile.com or call us at 203-438-9338.
We're back on this Wednesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. Shelton police are in search of a suspect who committed an armed robbery at the People's Bank inside of Stop & Shop on Bridgeport Avenue. On Tuesday, May 30th at about 12:30 p.m., the Shelton police received a holdup alarm from the bank. Now, according to police, moments after the alarm, they received a 911 call from the bank confirming that it had been robbed. Shelton patrol officers and detectives responded and discovered that a white male with a scruffy beard and dirty blonde hair approached a female teller. According to police, the suspect displayed a dark semi-automatic pistol and demanded cash from both tellers on duty. The tellers complied, and the male left the bank on foot with an undisclosed amount of cash. Upon exiting the store, the male hugged the building, staying out of view of exterior surveillance cameras. Anyone who recognizes the man or has any information is encouraged to contact the Shelton Police Department at 203-924-1544. And a Stratford man is facing a murder charge in connection with a shooting death on Saturday on Garibaldi Avenue. 24-year-old Brandon Ford of Stratford was arrested in connection with the Saturday evening shooting death of Andre Petway of Bridgeport. Ford is charged with murder, possession of weapon in a motor vehicle, risk of injury to minors, as well as reckless endangerment, unlawful discharge of a firearm, and carrying a pistol without a permit. Police said Ford was arrested after members of the Stratford Police Department served a warrant at his residence. The arrest stems from the ongoing investigation into the Saturday evening homicide on Garibaldi Avenue. Police offered no further details on Ford's arrest. 27-year-old Petway was identified Monday as the victim of the shooting that took place just before 7 p.m. Saturday. Petway died of his injuries at Bridgeport Hospital. You can get updates at stratfordstar.com. And a Stratford man is dead, and a Milford woman suffered injuries after the vehicles they were driving in were involved in an accident on Route 15 in Orange on Saturday. State police say that Michael Zawadzki of Judson Place in Stratford was traveling south in the right lane of the Wilbur Cross Parkway near exit 57 at about 4:15 p.m. Police said Zawadzki was traveling in a GMC Jimmy when Taylor Madison Stanford, 21 years old of Milford, traveled in the left lane in a Volkswagen Jetta at a high rate of speed. Police said Stanford's vehicle veered off the road and ran over a curb in the median. Police said Stanford lost control of her car and struck Zawadzki's vehicle. Police said Zawadzki's car rolled over and he was ejected from the truck. The GMC Jimmy traveled off the road and came to a stop at an embankment in the right shoulder. Police said Stanford's vehicle also traveled off the road and collided with a rope guardrail on the right shoulder. Police said she was partially ejected from her car. Police said Zawadzki's body was transported to the State Office of the Chief Medical Examiner in Farmington, and Stanford was transported to Yale New Haven Hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. It was unclear if Zawadzki was wearing a seatbelt at the time. State police said the accident remains under investigation. And Connecticut state troopers over the Memorial Day weekend made 31 DUI arrests and investigated 302 accidents, including 48 with injuries. Now, tragically, there were 2 fatal accidents on state highways over the holiday weekend, resulting in 3 deaths. One was a double fatality on I-91, and the other was the one we just told you about on Route 15 in Orange. State police also issued 719 speeding tickets and 668 seatbelt violations. But let's switch gears now, throw it over to Frank Granito, take one final look at that forecast, which isn't so great.
No, it is not, Kate. It's a little warmer out today. We're looking at a high of 71 this afternoon, but it's going to be mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. We could see a little bit of sunset in the before the early evening, but there is a chance of passing showers and thunderstorms overnight, as it'll be mostly cloudy and a little cooler with a low of 52. Nicer out tomorrow, as we're going to see some sunshine around Fairfield County, a high in the mid-70s. Breezy out with gusts of wind between 15 to 20 miles per hour. Mostly sunny skies for the afternoon, and they will be mostly clear overnight with a low of 52. Intervals of sun and clouds on Friday to kick off the weekend. We shouldn't see any showers during the day, but there is a chance that they come back overnight, carrying into Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon looks like it's going to be a little better, Kate, but again, we are staring down just nonstop rain. I think the calendar forgot that it's now June, not April.
Last day of May. All right. Well, we are going to wrap things up here on your coffee break, but coming up today, Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock and live boys lacrosse at 4:30 on HAN Network. And we will see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11. Stay dry.